Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beard, taking a look at the feature race at Aqueduct on Sunday. Some promising New York bred 3-year-old fillies going 6.5 furlongs in the $200,000 New York Stallion Series. Let's take a look at this field. It's a pretty full field. Our morning line favorite is the 6, Midtown Lights, going out for Brad Cox and Manny Franco. This horse scored last time out with a very good figure. It's going to have to deal with a slight cutback in distance.
Yeah, that's true. This horse finally got on a fast track last time, Dan, and got the job done going a mile. I'm not so sure at least when I went back and watched the race, I'm not so sure that the added distance did her any favors in that race. I actually like her cutting back for this.
There is speed to the outside, a pair of unbeaten horses, the 9 Athena Beach, the 10 Honest Banker. They're both 2 for 2. Timeform US believes they'll be forward after the first quarter mile with Athena Beach, perhaps a little bit quicker than Honest Banker. You'll note the number 4, Le Bon Temps, who was third in a stakes race last time out, can stay close to the pace and also has the highest late pace rating on Timeform US. But I won't argue with these two leaders.
No, me either. That is a nice combination there for the number 4 with some early speed and also a good finish. But I do think the 9 and the 10 are the 2 fastest horses. And I do think the 9 will make the lead here. Dan, shipping in from Penn National looked pretty good, winning her first 2 starts over there. The 10, that last race, the pace doesn't look that fast. It was pretty solid.
The number 1 Clover Street on our Timeform US pace projector is near the back of the pack. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I think that she can be a bit closer. Not as close as she was when she won this race, going 7/8 of a mile, a maiden special weight at Aqueduct last month, where she got very, very close, made the lead turning for home, and is just better than these horses as the favorite. It looks like she's really picked up her game this year at 3, although both races have come with Lasix, and she'll be running Lasix off on Sunday.
Yeah, I do think she's improved as a 3-year-old. This is a good performance here. Whether it was by design or not, Dan, Trevor McCarthy seems like he timed that break perfectly. This horse was going forward right when it opened, and she just broke right on top and had an easy early lead in there. And then I just thought that she ran pretty well to take another step forward. I don't know if she's good enough to beat this field, but I do think she fits here. And when you go back and watch that Fifth Avenue, that December race when they moved her up in class, boy, she didn't fire through the stretch. She had a miserable trip early in that race.
Little Lindsay is the number 2. Her only lifetime victory came on turf, but she's earned a couple of stakes placings on the main track. And if you can find an excuse for her last race, the East View, perhaps you can make a case for if you believe the 9 and the 10 will hook up early and set a fast pace. Little Lindsay is the kind of horse that can be running late. I wonder if she's progressed as much from 2 to 3 as Clover Street, however.
Yeah, I'm not sure that she has. And I also still think it's fair to wonder whether or not she's just not going to turn out to be a better turf horse. We'll see if they eventually go back to that surface. Her dirt form is fine. If you're looking for an excuse for her last race, then maybe it's just that she got in against Maple Leaf Mel, who was 1-5 and just absolutely dominated that field. To me, Little Lindsay had no chance in there. I'm still not sure how good she is on dirt.
Hypnocurrency is the number 3. This one will be getting blinkers on. She graduated 2 starts back, but she needed to drop into a state-bred maiden claiming race for $40,000. Her first start against winners was an even effort. She was behind Maggie T, who's also in this group. She obviously has to improve. If you believe, you get your price.
Yeah, be a big price in here. Going to have to take a pretty significant step forward. I thought all in all, she ran fine last time. Maggie T controlled the pace. This horse tried really hard through the stretch, just couldn't gain any ground.
Le Bon Temps, the number 4, is already a multiple stakes winner, and she was in against Maple Leaf Mel last time out. That was the East View, and she got back from a mile to 6 furlongs. Maple Leaf Mel just got on the lead, cruised around there, didn't have to go especially fast. Le Bon Temps did her best. She ended up finishing 3rd. We know the quality of the winner, and the runner-up came back to take a first-level allowance for New York Reds with a 73 buyer, so she fits.
She definitely fits, even if you want to give her the excuse that she wasn't going to beat Maple Leaf Mel last time anyway, Dan. I still think Jose Lezcano did everything right there. He knew who he had to beat. He came out aggressively from the gate. He went after that horse early, and Le Bon Temps was just no match in that race. It's sort of strange to say it, Dan, because Linda Rice has just been on fire for the last 3 or 4 months in New York, but this horse has not improved since switching to this barn.
Dream on Cara is the number 5. She's still a maiden after 9 lifetime starts, but if you give her enough pace, she'll pack a late wallop, as she did in this race when she gets up for third going 3/4 of a mile. This was 19 days ago, and she fell far behind. This was a pretty solid pace for the group, though. They went 22 and change for the opening quarter, and Dream on Cara, who was kind of anxious behind the gate, didn't break well from the rail, is going to get up to be a non-threatening third. She's running at the end.
Yeah, this is a perfect setup for this pace is wicked fast. The horse who actually wins, Dan, is to her outside right now, coming from last. She's a first-time starter who was over 30 to 1, easily outfinishes Dream on Cara. She had no excuse here. Ran another, solid race, but at least as of now, she's just not that good.
Here's our morning line favorite, the number 6, Midtown Light. She's coming into this race off of a first level allowance win right here, going a 1-turn mile, and it was on a fast track. She worked out an in-out trip where she was able to attack on the turn. She's really under a hard ride. Once she collars this horse on the lead, it seemingly takes forever for her to get by. Do you think, Mike, that this distance worked against her, or that she eventually grinded this horse down because she had superior stamina?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of both, but I think maybe she's just a better horse when all is said and done here. She's going to get the job done. Like I said, I don't really necessarily think the added distance did her any favors here. She was still a pretty convincing winner at the end, even though she worked hard to do it. I liked all of her efforts sprinting before that, Dan. She was also in that Fifth Avenue in December, the race that LeBon Thompson won, but this horse ran really, really well in there. I think you could easily argue that she was best in that race, even though she didn't win. She came back off the layoff 2-back on another wet track. She ran great again. The winner of that race is definitely a stakes horse for Linda Rice. I don't know. To me, she's just way the horse to beat in the end.
And she's won without Lasix in the past. Lasix off as she steps back up into the stakes ranks. The 7 is Maggie T. We talked about Linda Rice and how well she's been doing recently. This is her race first off of the Linda Rice claim. Maggie T just showed speed in here. Got a really nice ride from Jose Lezcano. Back down the pace on the backstretch. Didn't face a ton of pressure. Spurted to a lead and an insurmountable one at that on the second turn and kept on rolling.
Yeah, just, is clear throughout the stretch here, and nobody's really going to threat her. That's Hypnocurrency, the 4, back in third. She's trying really hard here, Dan. She just can't gain any ground. Maggie T had a pretty soft trip in here, took advantage. I don't mind her cutting back for this. And, she is one who Linda Rice claimed recently took over, and this horse really improved for her.
Here's a horse that's been claimed out of her last 2 races. That's the number 8, Our Rosie Diamond, who will now make her first start for Michelle Nevin. She faced a pretty promising runner in her most recent start. Now, this is an open claiming race. 16,000 non-winners of 2 life at 6 furlongs. The winner would come back to run second twice against New York breds, one with a 79 buyer and one with a 71 buyer. So she's okay. Our Rosie Diamond sort of sucks up for second in here, but is another that would benefit from a quick pace.
Yeah, going to need a lot of help if she's going to win this race here. Certainly, Michelle Nevin does a good job off the claim, so maybe she'll move this horse forward. She'll have to move her forward a lot, though, Dan. Based on what she's done so far, she's not competitive with these horses.
Athena Beach is the number 9. She's coming up from Penn National after winning both of her starts. She took money both times, and she looked good in her most recent race. Time from U.S. color-coded this pace fast. I can understand why. 22, 45, and 2 in an allowance race at Penn National. This horse got hooked turning for home and just shrugged away the runner-up.
I like this performance from her. I liked her debut. I thought she ran even better here. Was much better from the gate this time. Went right to the lead. Turned away that horse who was challenging her throughout. Now the horse that she beat there, who finished second, did come back to win, but she dropped in class to do it. She's a 4-time winner, that horse, but all 3 of her wins since she broke her maiden down against claiming rivals. So, I'm not really sure what this horse beat. I do think she's pretty good though, and I think she's dangerous shipping in here.
I think she's a good-looking horse. These connections usually like to use speed tactics, especially with fillies by Bankheist to have a little bit of speed. Athena Beach, you'll know her early. Honest Banker is also 2 for 2. She's done it up in New York for trainer Rob Atras. Here's her second lifetime start. Now, this is an open starter allowance race, $50,000. And Honest Banker went quick up front, 22 and change for the opening quarter. Just had too much speed for this group and struts on home.
Yeah, I thought this was a really nice performance off the layoff, Dan. We're just showing you the stretch run here. She had already taken control, and she's going to keep clear to the wire here. But if you go back and watch the start of this race, there were several horses going for the lead. Honest Banker was stuck 4 wide, contested it, but her rider never backed off. He wanted the lead. He got it, and she won pretty easily there. I thought that was a real step in the right direction for her.
She showed the ability to sit just a little bit in her career debut, and perhaps that'll be the plan with Athena Beach breaking directly to her inside. She figures in the thick of things when the real running commences. Topic time for our feature race at Aqueduct on Sunday. We're both going to go with the 6, Midtown Lights. Yes, she's the morning line favorite, but her figures are very strong. Don't mind her cutting back in distance. I think she's tactical enough to work out a decent mid-pack trip.
I agree, Dan. I actually like her cutting back for this race. She's the horse to beat on the way in here. Somebody has to improve to beat her. I suspect if that happens, either the 9 or the 10 gets it done, but I stuck with the 6.
I'm curious to see if the 7 Maggie T can utilize different tactics, raiding off the pace this time in her second start for Linda Rice and coming with one run at a decent price, maybe to spice up the exotics a little bit. 6, 10, 1, 9 for Mike, 6, 7, 10, 9 for me in the feature race at Aqueduct on Sunday. Best of luck.